Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of Ed Tech. I hope you had a great weekend. And I just wanted to make some quick announcements before I start talking about this week. Just a reminder that next week is spring break. And so we don't have class next week. And because we don't have class next week, the design project that is due for week 3's lesson, it usually says submit at midnight on Sunday night. And if any of you have already looked over the lessons for week 3, please look over them again because I do tweak them. Online courses are all standard curriculum for every course, and then we tweak a little bit as we go. And sometimes you'll see in the standardized courses, it'll say, oh, from our discussion last week, or go to part 1, and people are like, oh, that never happened, and that's because it came from traditional class originally. I try to get ahead of it and catch it and make my tweaks ahead of time, but I've been dealing with some blood pressure issues, which came up again this week, but I'm doing okay now. I'm also on the yearbook deadline at my school. This is our week for that. Anybody that does anything like that, you know how crazy it is. I look like a bum, and I apologize for that. But anyways, so next week is our spring break. I don't want you stressed on the holiday weekend. A lot of you will be celebrating. So instead of turning in the design project on Sunday, I've extended the timeline to Wednesday of the following week. If you want to turn it in early, if you want to turn it in on time by Sunday, Easter Sunday, then that's great. But if you need a couple extra days, that's fine. Just make sure that you have contributed to the discussion board no later than Thursday night. That's a big one for me. I like to read the conversations, and I like to make sure that everybody is involved in the conversations. I started making phone calls home just to check with you and say hi and see if you need anything. So you'll be hearing from me over the next few days. And just making sure you're okay, basically. Sometimes online courses can get overwhelming, just remembering to manage your time with children, work, the life stressors that come up. Okay, so this week it's a fun assignment, and some of you probably already have things like this created, but you're designing a student project based on the technology standards, based on Common Core, and everything is laid out I put it in the announcements for you, and it's also in the week 3 lesson. So let's just go over it together. The project's worth 40 points, sorry. The 3 components that you're going to be using is you're going to have a project guideline or lesson plan with at least one of the ISTE standards, which is one of the technology standards. The link is there for you to be able to look over those. There's going to be an assessment rubric that you'll need to create and a sample student project. So the items that I'm looking for specifically is I want to see that you are integrating online resources for research and information gathering. That is something, especially because I teach high school, that kids really need to know by the time that they get to me. So the earlier we start it in elementary school, continuing that thread through middle school and high school, the bigger the difference and the better foothold that kids have on college. My students have been really surprised to see what happens on Blackboard, to see how so many things are online communication, even at like the Cal States. My youngest daughter's at Cal State East Bay doing criminal justice, and just to be able to contact her counselor, they start all email communication first, and she has to set up all of her appointments to see her academic counselor through the computer. A lot of times kids don't know how to do that. I was currently just setting up college board accounts with all my juniors. They were signing up for the SAT. It was a navigational nightmare. I had 35 kids on smartphones and on computers trying to figure it out. And a lot of times they just haven't had anybody to show them how to really navigate these academic websites or websites for research. It's easy for them to do Snapchat or Instagram or something like that, but not like multiple areas of trying to navigate tools to really research something and how to find out which sites are really reliable to use. I want students show what they know by taking that information and applying it to create something using a digital tool. And look under the IST standard for students, number 1, creativity and innovation. The project guidelines, assessment rubric, and sample student project must be linked or uploaded in Blackboard by Wednesday, March 30th. As I told you, extending the date. And as with any lesson, there should be listed objectives, California State or Common Core standards, and required materials. Anything that like your principal would want to see written on the board, letting them know why you're choosing to do what you're doing in relation to your core curriculum. Have fun with this. And if you've already created something like this for your class, yes, of course, wonderful, use it. The whole point of taking ed technology is to make sure that you're up to date with technology, that you're learning technology. And if you're already using the technology, then show it off to me because I love it. Don't forget that you also have the discussion board questions for week 3. It says, for our discussion this week, reflect on the course so far. What is something new you have discovered that you hope to use with students? And what has been the biggest challenge? It's been really interesting to me. I love when you guys write me notes when you Dropbox your assignments, especially when you say things like, I was struggling with this, but then it ended up being a lot of fun once I learned this, 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 and this. Remember what I said before about technology. In this class, I'm really more of a facilitator than a hands-on teacher to you because I want you to start exploring technology on your own and using the tools of the internet to find answers to your questions because that's how you become fluent in technology, by learning how to navigate and look for those answers for your questions. Well, I hope you have a good week. And I wish you all well. I want you to have a wonderful spring break next week. And then we will resume class after that for our week 4 lessons. Have a great day.